And don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. It was the first week of school. They were in a church. These are kids that should be learning with their friends. They should be playing on the playground. They should be able to go to school or church in peace without the fear or risk of violence, and their parents should have the same kind of assurance.
Similarly, we've made another historic agreement with personal health records. The 60 biggest tech companies in our country have all agreed to allow Americans for the first time access to their personal data, which they own, which these companies have been monetizing without permission. You're going to be able to see by next year all of your health records on your cell phone. It's going to save lives. It is going to fuel an infusion of technology into that space where people can access those records. They can compare their diet to what they personally need, and we'll have personalized medicine.
Shouldn't the U.S. government say, you know what, we use Palantir services, we would like a piece of Palantir. We use Boeing services, we would like a piece of Boeing. There are a lot of businesses that do business with the U.S. government that benefit by doing business with the U.S. government. I guess the question is, where's the line?
Oh, there's a monstrous discussion about defense. I mean, Lockheed Martin makes 97% of their revenue from the U.S. government. They are basically an arm of the U.S. government. They make exquisite munitions. I mean, amazing things that can knock a missile out of the air when it's coming towards you. But what's the economics of that? I'm going to leave that to my Secretary of Defense and the Deputy Secretary of Defense. These guys are on it and they're thinking about it. But I tell you what, there's a lot of talking that needs to be had about how do we finance our munitions acquisitions. I think a lot of that is talking. And now you have the right people in the jobs and Donald Trump at the head thinking about what is the right.
Hey guys, Carlos Cortez here with another episode of Scriptures in Wall Street. I hope you are doing well. Today's going to be a jam-packed a podcast full of some content and some things that you probably should be paying attention to. For those of you that are listening to us for the first time, thank you. We are joining new networks, and I'm really excited about that. But more importantly, if you don't know who I am, my name is Carlos Cortez. I am a licensed financial advisor. This is what makes me different from most podcasters is everybody wants to be a financial advisor, but they actually don't practice it. They don't make a living giving advice. Well, I do. And I have this podcast, Scriptures in Wall Street, because we want to use money because everybody talks about money and thinks they know a lot about money. And everybody has an opinion. And you know what they say about opinion? Everybody has one. And you know how that saying goes. However, we actually give financial advice for a living. So if that's you, give us a call. We would love to give you financial advice, a second opinion on your portfolio. You might be with a big broker at UBS or Morgan Stanley or Fidelity or some woke bank, whatever that is, or maybe your local bank. It doesn't matter where you're at. We just want to give you a second opinion and give you the opportunity to know exactly what you have. And you can give us a call at 813-448-3446. Or if you're not much of a phone guy, just go to CortezWM.com, book an appointment with us, or you can simply email me, info@CortezWM.com. I want to welcome our new listeners. We are expanding, and I'm great to be offering that. So, today, I wanted to just simply talk about the 401k, the EO with Donald Trump. I know we had a mass shooting in Minneapolis. Unfortunately, that was that's just a terrible, terrible situation. And I'm praying for the families involved. Oh man, I really can't even imagine going through something like that. The pain. Anyways, it just boils me up to see something like that. But what also boils me up is that the Luciferian system has been taking advantage of everyday Americans. And I'm just sick and tired of it. And that's how I started my my whole podcast 4 years ago during COVID when I got resdemivired, when I basically was dying from the bioweapon, right? So, for those of you that don't know, if you're new to the channel, if you're new to this show, um, I actually had the Delta strain, went to the hospital, was going through a very tough time, faced death. The doctor threw me on a bed. I was overweight. I was basically diagnosed with type 2 diabetes at the time. I simply reversed it. I got my life right, got my spiritual life right, got my marriage right, got my physical being right. Just did a 180. And I recently had COVID, and it was just like a cold, how it should have been. So I say all that because we've seen advantages taken of the American people. And if you're a listener to this show, you already been alerted. You already know. You've been educated. We're able to give you content. We're able to open up your eyes to different things that most financial advisors that you talk to don't even have access to. Again, everything on this podcast is meant for information and education purposes only. I'm not giving investment advice on this show. So if I talk about a certain stock, please don't spend your whole retirement on that certain stock, because you probably would lose money because it fluctuates. We want to talk about safe money. We want to talk about retirement. That doesn't mean you need to take a lot of risks. Now, for those of you that are in the market, please do understand that the probability of you losing money is getting greater every single day. Now, for me, selfishly, I'm hoping the stock market crashes because it's going to be a fun thing to take advantage of those markets going down. Now, if you're a listener of Scriptures on Wall Street, you do know how to make money off a market meltdown. You know how to protect your retirement from a market meltdown. You know what to avoid when it comes to the CBDC, because this is what we talk about. It is not a secret. The Bible says in many ways, handfolds, that do not fear, and that we are just going to prepare. We don't fear the inoculation. We don't fear the stock market crash. We don't fear the jab. We don't fear the stock market folding up or the banks folding up. We don't fear if gold crashes or the American dollar crashes or if we go to war. We prepare for it, guys. We have confidence because we are prepared. There's so many scriptures that talk about that. Just real quick, that in Proverbs, the wise store up choice food and olive oil, but the fools gulp theirs down. A wise steward preserves wealth and not gambles it. Now, what I will say with this executive order, I'm telling you right now, this is a track, trace, and control. We've seen it with the FDIC. We've seen it with the jab on the pharmaceutical side. We see it in transportation as a service. We see it in the banking sector. We've seen it in surveillance, in smart cities, and cars, and now in cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies is supposed to be a secure, privatized, decentralized asset. But now everything is track, trace, control. The government, mind you, wants to create their own CBDC for crypto. And I want you to understand, guys, doesn't matter who's in the office. And I voted for Trump. I say this because I voted for Trump, but it does not matter who's in the office. Everybody has a number, guys. Everybody has a number. You are responsible for your own well-being. You are responsible for your financial health. You are responsible for your current health. And you are definitely, as a man of God, responsible for the hearts of your family, including your wife. Your marriage is on the rocks. I blame you. You are to blame. You as a man need to step the hell up and be emotionally connected with her, because the Bible even says you better love your wife like Christ loved the church. Well, that's a huge one. I mean, that's one of the toughest scriptures other than your neighbor. Love your neighbor as yourself. Well, I'm going to tell you, I don't care about my neighbor, but I still got to show, man, if you guys knew the stuff I was going through, you wouldn't believe. Maybe I'll podcast about it. But that's a scripture that I struggle with personally. Ecclesiastes 11:2 says, invest in 7 ventures. Yes, in 8. You do not know what disaster may come upon the land. Diversification matters, but with wisdom, not recklessness. Matthew 25:23, well done, good and faithful servant. Man, we love those words. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many. God rewards careful stewardship and not chasing hype. I don't like hype. I don't like these guys like, oh man, the dollar's crashing. Go buy gold. Go buy that 401k. Take your IRA and go to the gold, baby. We're going to smack you with 30% over the spread. And when you sell it, you're going to be a millionaire. Man, the dollar's crashing. Oh, by the end of this month, the stock market is going to crash. We're not going to have money left over. Oh my goodness, you got to buy gold. Literally, that's what it is. But you bust out the chart and you dispel all the lies. You dispel all the hype because you know why? These people got commission breath, man. And don't get me wrong. I like making a few $1 million on fees and advisory revenues that I have. For many years, I've worked on commissions and still do. But it better be freaking right for the client. It's got to make sense. And I've seen so many people get hurt by the gold scam. Because let me tell you, these people understand how you think. They understand your emotions. They understand that, yeah, the dollar's going to go down. And they say it's a crash. But guys, think real logically here. If the dollar freaking crashes, you got bigger issues than money. If gold crashes, you got bigger issues than money. You're better off buying real precious metals like ammo, like straight black, beautiful rifles, like survival food. If you want to prepare. And gosh, I hope we never get there. So you need to diversify. I'm not saying that silver and gold is bad because I enjoy having that on hand. It's a beautiful thing to see. It sparkle. You touch it and it's tangible and it gives you a sense of financial security. It really does. I'm not discrediting that. And our guys at Cornerstone do an amazing job. You can find their link on the bottom. However, I want you to understand that there's clarity, right? We want to have clarity. And so with this new executive order, fiduciaries have to basically offer private equity, crypto, real estate funds. It even says lifetime income products that are complex, illiquid, maybe even expensive. And they're supposed to be giving a safe harbor. Now, the difference between what is safe between you and I is completely different. Like if you ask a red money advisor what is safe, they're going to say, oh, well, you're going to buy some bonds and we're going to do some corporate bonds and blah, blah, blah. And you ask these knuckleheads on Wall Street, with the guys I grew up with, you know, the Italians and the Jewish people. And they said, I didn't look the part. I had a little Puerto Rican chin strap and I had gold everywhere because I like gold. Yes, I have a gold chain. I have a gold chain. I have a gold bracelet. I like to wear gold. And they said, you know what? You look too ghetto. You look too spickish. No one's ever going to give you money to invest. And that's why I put my name Cortez on my company. I started my own company and I said, look, you can call me whatever you want because I'm called to fight on this stupid street called Wall Street. And nothing you can do about it because literally God called me on this street. And I'm a disruptor. That's what I do. I literally could give a flip about your feelings. My job is to protect your money and grow it. Period. And that's always been my message. It's not for everybody, nor do I want to work with everybody. But daggone sure, I will show you the charts. I will not show you hype. I will show you straight, real rawness, and it's up to you to decide. I'm not here to cater to your feelings. I'm here to show you the facts professionally and my opinion. Again, not investment advice, but you can read between the lines. Now, most of you are just listening now. You don't even know what red money is. You don't even know what green money is. You don't even know what yellow money is. I'm not saying that in a condescending way. I'm just saying that look at your current spot. If you have fear, anxiety, if you are literally not happy, there is a reason why you are not happy. And that's because you have no trust in your current situation. You have no confidence. There is a lot of fear because you think the markets are going to go down, or maybe you think the markets are going to go up. And you don't even understand that your advisor is not on the same page with you spiritually. So when you have an advisor that you're not on the same page spiritually, he took the vaccine, he's funding abortion, he's funding gaming and online and what do you call it? OnlyFans. And like there's funds that invest in that. And these AI that doesn't have basic morals. They have no moral compass at all. And so as we invest into these NVIDIA things and these ETFs I spoke about last week, there's no moral compass there, guys. They could basically have a technology that runs porn sites. I mean, we don't know. We don't know. It's very difficult to scan from all that. But here's the thing. Does your current advisor know? Do you actually know what you're funding? Will God bless your money with the returns? I'm of the opinion that I would rather have a smaller rate of return and be confident that my money is an honest, God-compliant return and not be exposed to all the woke media garbage. So think about like think about the bro investor sites, right? It's all hype, man. The NVIDIAs of the world, the Amazon, the Googles, the Magnificent Seven, the Teslas. They're every single day, they're in the media. Every single day. And guess what? Every single day, they're either the biggest movers. Very rarely do they stay stagnant. And I've talked about the Qs. I've talked about the NASDAQ, how the NASDAQ keeps on going up and going up and going up. But today we're going to talk about the S&P. There is something I have to tell you. Again, it's not going to be investment advice. This is a very serious conversation. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of problems with this EO, with executive order. The volatility, now that basically they can put your money in crypto, there's going to be some private equity being offered, and they lock your money up for 7 to 10 years. That means if you walk away from your job, your money's still locked up in this 401k and the private equity. And you can't get out of it. They typically invest in business startups. They typically invest in like exploratory oil or just other investments that are just not liquid. You're better off having green money. And we'll talk about green money in a minute. So you have a volatility problem with these safe harbors. You have liquidity. You have your values. And then they're going to collect their fees, guys. They're going to collect their fees with this EO. Now, this is not conspiracy. This is actually real stuff. And I don't want to bring out the white paper. I don't want to bore you guys to death. But just know that the track, trace, and control agenda continues to thrive, continues to literally show up in every facet of your life. Yes, your bank account is track, trace, and control. Your bank account right now has already been CBDC'd. So my clients know that we're only going to put money that we're okay being track, trace, and control in these bank depository banks. Okay. Now, if you have a gold IRA, I'm sorry, but that's one of the dumbest things you can buy, in my opinion, because an IRA is owned by the government, by the way. And then they tell the government where your IRA is at. It's in Delaware. It's in Gold Star in Texas. It's there. Do you really trust the government to know where your physical gold is held, do you think they're going to abide by the state laws and not go into this center where they know you have $1 million in gold bullion inside of a contract that you never even wrote called the IRA? Guys, it's dangerous, man. Like, people are not thinking. I'm not saying precious metals is bad. I'm just saying it's a double whammy when you have it inside of an IRA, and then you tell the government, yeah, it's an IRA, it's custodied in Gold Star in Texas or in Delaware at Gold Trust, whatever the company is, the custodian is. I'm not saying bad about Gold Star or Gold Trust or whatever. I know they're great custodians. They charge fees. They make their money. All good. They're legit. Not saying anything bad about it. I'm just saying this is the risk, guys. Like, we are in this risk. This EO adds more fuel to the fire. Like, I've been in real estate investment trusts. It really sucks when you're in it for 5-7 years and there's no liquidity event. That really sucks, guys. You don't want to be in that situation. And what if you lose your job and you need money to live off of? You need to do a withdrawal. There's so many people I know that have millions of dollars in their 401k, and they can't even access it. And that's why I say you don't own, and don't be fooled by your 401k, because you don't own it. You are a participant. Show me in your 401k that it says account owner. Show me. I'll give you $5. Just email me. Screenshot it. I'll give you $5. It's sad, dude. Like, people don't know this stuff, man. Like, the fact that you go into a bank and you give them your money, you literally do not own your money anymore. You have the right, the beneficial right, to withdraw it at the discretion of that bank. Call your bank mañana. Call them and say, yo, I want to see my adoption agreement. I want to see the disclosures on my account agreement. Let me know what they say. And then ask them, what are your thoughts on the Fed Now program? Is your bank a participating member of the Fed Now program? I guarantee you they probably are. And don't even take my word for it. Just go to the Fed Now website and type in your bank and look at the list of participants. Should I do it for you right now? Because it's there. They even got credit unions now. So you got to understand that your money is being tracked, traced, and controlled. This EO, it doesn't matter if it's Trump or Biden or Kamala. It freaking doesn't matter. This is what the government wants to do. They want to track, trace, and control you. And for those of you that have an Roth IRA, I got news for you too, man. Now, I can't prove this, so this is an opinion. It's not a fact. Factually saying, yes, you pay taxes on it. Yes, you have. I don't know if they're going to pull the rug from you, though. You're trusting the government, saying, yeah, I pay the taxes. Think 20, 30 years from now, taxes will go up. You got to pay for COVID and Ukraine and Israel and all this BS that we've been sending. You guys know the billions of dollars. You know that was going to come off our kids' backs. For those of you who are in your 40s, it's coming off of our backs. We're paying for that, man. All those PPPs, like COVID, everything. Billions of dollars. So what I'm getting at is with the Roth IRA, by the time you start pulling it, it'll be tax-free, I'm sure. But when you take that welfare program and you go on welfare, also known as Social Security, which is a welfare program, they control how much money you make, and the monies out of your Roth IRA will be tax-free, but not towards your Social Security. I think they're going to rug pull that, man. I really think they're going to count it towards your Social Security, which is jacked up. Because right now, the only thing that does not count towards your calculation of Social Security is loans from your cash value life insurance and Roth IRAs. That is it. Everything that you make while you're on Social Security before full retirement age, for many of you, it will be 66. So before 66, if you're 62 and you want to take Social Security early and you make over $23,500 in 2025, your ass is grass. They will penalize you 50% for every $2 that you make over $23,500. You will lose half of it. You will pay 50% penalty on everything over that earnings test. They call it an earnings test, a cap. When you're full retirement age, it's over, I think, 56,000. Don't quote me on it. And they keep increasing it. It changes every single year. That's why I can't keep up with it. So what they're going to do, guys, as we get older, what they're going to do, they're going to increase the earnings test, but they're going to reduce the age. So this is a system that they can do to manipulate Social Security where they know it's always going to be there. It's just not going to keep up with inflation. And we know that Social Security will never, through their COLA adjustments, their cost of living adjustments, will never, ever be able to fund your lifestyle because they base it off of the CPI. Now, the CPI, as you guys know, they take petroleum and food out of the CPI when it comes to the calculation of your Social Security. I know this personally because I taught Social Security classes at public libraries here in Tampa, Florida for many years. I've done over 200 seminars in person. Thank God. Thank God I don't do that anymore because I was done late at night and I was missing a lot of time with my family. Now I have a podcast and I could literally, I'm in shorts. I'm in shorts. I'm at home in my studio and I'm able to basically educate the masses more than I could in a library on this network. And I've been doing it for 4 or 5 years on this podcast and I love it. Love it. Built the whole company based on this show. So here we are. We want to help you guys. We want you to learn about these traps. It no longer is about performance, guys. Quit judging your advisor or even me about performance. It is about the holistic approach. It is so much risk out there. Now it's politically, it's social media risk. It is now legislative risk on your 401k. So the major thing, guys, is that we got to get out of this 401k because it's fooling America. Social Security has been scamming people for so many years where we don't even know what in our 401k that we actually own. Tell me how long that money's going to last you. Tell me how much or how long that money's going to last you and what the taxes are going to be. You don't freaking know it. Then we get these stupid EOs that come in, executive orders that add more complexity to an already complex problem. Guys, I'm not trying to play the blame game. I'm just letting you know the facts. And the facts is you got to start taking control of your own assets. Because if you have a 401k, if you have your money in the bank, you don't own it. You don't own it. So now you need to become account owner. So how do you do that? Well, there's several different ways here. One of the things that I love is called a privatized insured contract, also known as an insurance contract. That doesn't mean a life insurance contract. What we generally do is with a portion of your money, we want to grow it, but we want to securitize it. We want to have an account that is actually linked to an index. And so if you're not getting good returns, then give me a call because we want to make sure you're getting returns regardless of the stock market. Now, I do have a market update I want to give you, but I want to show you something pretty powerful here. All right, guys. So I wanted to share this real quick because this is very important. And again, I'm not the guy with the hype, right? I don't want to hype anything up, but you have to understand that this is This is serious right here. Again, I just want to show you the behaviors of the market from a financial standpoint. So in 2020, you guys know what, I'm sorry, in 2000, you understand what happened. In 2008, you know what happened. In 2016, you remember that. 2018, there were some signs there. Obviously, the market crashed with basically in December, it just melted like crazy. If you guys remember the war on tariffs, as of recent history, we had 2022 and now it's 2025. Now I want to share something. I want to kind of dive deeper into this. So, all right, here we are. Here's the S&P 500, guys. Now, I don't know if you can see this. And if you want this chart, let me know, because I can just email it to you. info@cortezwm.com. So this is divergence. So basically, price is moving up. You know what? Let me show you something real quick. Let's check out the bro investors. Let's check out the bro investors. So I want to check out the bro investors, this corny freaking media place called Yahoo Finance. And let's just get like a temperature gauge of what they're saying. NVIDIA CEO hung, American tech stack shall be the world standard. There you go. Told about NVIDIA and social media risk, right? NVIDIA data center sales miss eclipse earnings beat. Oh, there it goes. More exposure. NVIDIA still hasn't finalized this deal with Trump on China. All right. The Dow Nasdaq future falls as NVIDIA takes a hit after earnings report. China's oil major plot shift to new fuels and fine chemicals. U.S. firms racing through $1 trillion buyback spree in record time. Live dates on earnings. Snowflake soars as earnings show companies riding the AI boom. Oil slips as the market weighs end of U.S. summer driving in India supply dilemma. Dollar on defensive as September Fed cuts beat ramps. So what is your census? Asia markets wavered. NVIDIA drops after earnings beat. What is your census? What is your consumer confidence or your investor confidence when you start reading this? Trump wants to win the AI race. NVIDIA data center sales. Everything is like technology based, right? I told you that. So this is what people are reading. NVIDIA earnings mixed bag. How much control does the president have over the Fed and interest rates? Uncharted waters. Trump attempts to take charge of the Fed. That's a whole nother podcast. Maybe I'll get into that this weekend. So they're really not showing confidence, right? Or maybe they keep talking about AI. So I want you to kind of keep whatever you're thinking, keep that in your head, because I'm going to show you this chart now. I'm going to go back to the chart. Actually, I'm going to take me out because the chart's more important than me. Now, here we are. We have a divergence in 2000. Now, what a divergent means, guys, is that we have momentum shifting down. And if you look at my MACD on the very bottom with this green and red, the prices are going up in 2000. And then we see the momentum coming down. See momentum flat. When these two lines intersect and create a red dot, this basically tells me that prices are going up, but the momentum's coming down. Then I verify it with my momentum indicator here, my RSI. So I have my MACD right here. But my RSI momentum indicator is basically telling us a different story. So this is where you see the manipulation. Look, the markets continue to rise during this 2000 event in 2000. Momentum shifting down. Think of it as a freight train that slams on its brakes. It does take a while for it to stop. I think a freight train takes what, 2 miles, a mile to stop. I don't know. I'm not an engineer. It doesn't stop on a dime. So here we are. The market's a freight train. The brakes are on right now. You see that slowdown in 2000? Well, guess what happened in 2001? Fast forward to 2008, the divergence there. Markets were going up in 2007, going into 2008, early 2008. And here's our divergence. A red dot, look at our momentum. It dumped. It completely dumped. We all know what happened in 2008. 2016, the war on tariffs initially on Trump's first presidential administration. Divergence happened here on our green oscillator. We got a red dot here. Even our MACD was showing weakness and prices were going up. You guys understand, prices go up, but the momentum's going down. There's some stuff that's about to happen. Get ready. 2018, there was some divergence. We had a big correction there. That was December of 2018. Now, that was the Trump war on tariffs. And people were scared. September is a big, big month for market meltdowns. All right. So we have this huge divergence. Fast forward to 2022. Divergence here. We all knew what happened in 2020. Not a secret. Look at my red dot separating. My MACD showing crazy, crazy momentum going down. The prices went up. Boom. Look at that huge correction. Markets up. AI boom right here. 2025. Here we are. Present. I have a divergence here. Prices are going to go up. Yahoo Finance is saying NVIDIA this, NVIDIA that. Interest rates are going to drop come in September. Markets are supposed to go up, but we've lost momentum. We've lost momentum here. Typically, we will see a market correction here. Over the past 25 years, every time we had a divergence, we see a correction. Now, could it be another slip? Could it be another 5, 10% correction? Could it be 20, 30? I don't know. But the market's been very well bought off at an all-time high for a very long time. We have interest rates dropping, more volatility. We have tariffs. Inflation is still high. And these people are going to be cutting rates possibly in September, October, November, December, maybe even January into next year. We have TMF. We have other things that we have in the brewing. But I need to let you guys know that this is for information and education purposes only. But there is all signs for a major correction. So if you have money in a 401k, if you have money just sitting there in the markets, this is your warning. This is not something I say lightly. This is serious. This is actual mathematically quantifying that we will get a correction based on the past 25 years of history of the S&P 500. I am really legit worried for our new listeners or our current listeners that haven't made a change in their portfolios. It's not time to chase the S&P 500 in your 401ks. If you have 401k money, if you have money you're living off of that is literally in the stock market, it is time to take some off the table. Again, not investment advice, but then now is time to take some off the table and put it in a safe bucket. Not some safe harbor the government deems, but actual green money. Green money. You can go to greenmoneysolutions.com right now and look at some different options. So green money basically is a protected account that will grow with an index like the S&P 500. We don't make all of the money on the S&P 500. We make a good portion. Sometimes we get a cap at like 14%, 13%. Those caps are coming down. Sometimes we just get a 40% participation rate. Like we make 40% of the S&P with no risk. So if the S&P did 20% in a year, you are literally walking away with 9%. So it is very powerful. If you have 100% participation rate and the index does 20%, you made all of 20%. We do have contracts. We have a contractual guarantee accounts where your principal is guaranteed, and you are basically guaranteed all the interest that you are due as to be counted as your new principal. Now, this is backed up with real reserves, dollar for dollar, typically with an A-rated carrier in your state, depends on your state, and is backed by the strength of an insurance company. So their guarantees are only as good as an insurance company. So this is why we go with companies that have been around since the Great Depression, that have seen a depression, that has seen all the recessions since the 1950s, right? And we've talked about the inverted yield curve. We talked about the inversion of the yield curve, how since 1950, there's been 12 of them. And when that inverted yield curve uninverts, which already has, August of last year, 6 to 12 months after that, we typically see a correction of some sort, about 90% of the time. Very powerful stuff. That was in the last week's podcast, if you haven't seen it. I'm sorry, last podcast, not last week's, but last podcast. So just check that out. There's a lot of signs. And the Bible even talks about, he gives us signs and we don't even know how to interpret it. And so there is no need to fear, guys. I am here to put the weight on my shoulders, to give you the best advice. I can't speak to everybody, and I know our phone's been blowing up, but I have another advisor that is very good. I've trained him. I've hand-selected him, Josh, and we're actually in a process of hiring a third, maybe even a fourth one, because our calls are just coming in like crazy, and we want to help our God-fearing patriots. We want to align your values with what you believe in, your money with your values. And more importantly, Wall Street is a huge casino, and they do not get paid to keep your money safe. Safe in their eyes is locking your money up 7 years in a real estate fund. Safe in their eyes is buying bonds and you lost 25% when interest rates went up last time in 2023. Those interest rates skyrocketed. You guys still have 7% mortgages. Luckily, hopefully you are sitting on your home for 20 plus years and you got a 3% or a 4% mortgage. You're never selling your home because you can't buy anything with a low mortgage right now. But those interest rates are going to drop. And if we get down to 6, you're going to see a plethora of new buyers in the market where the real estate will actually flip. It will go from a buyer's market to a seller's market. So it's going to be interesting to see that in this debacle. But you have been warned. You have been warned. There is a market correction coming based on this history. I'm not going to pull up any other charts. I don't want to confuse our new listeners, but there is so much stuff out there that you really need to understand that now is the time to look at greenmoneysolutions.com, get you some green money, a safe and effective account that guarantees your principal, that will compound and compound based on the indices that we've had. And if you haven't had a chance, you can look at these returns. Again, past performance is not indicative of future results. But I want to show you these return, guys. If you haven't made these type of returns, then what are you doing? In 2000, this index has been around since 2002. Not every year is a great year. We had a 24, a 17, a 5, a 12, a 9 in 2006. It lost 14%. You got a 0. Whenever you see a red, you get a 0. But look at these returns: a 20, an 8, a 9.9, a 1, a 30, a negative, which would be a 0. You lose nothing. And back in 2016, the last Trump administration, It literally gained over 100%. You had 8.19, a 40, a lost year in 2018 with the war on terrorists, a 34, a 28, a 25. These returns are impeccable. So in 5 years, it did over 110%. In 22, it did. I'm sorry, in 23, it made over 19%. 24, it did 2.35, and year to date, because of the obviously the treasuries, it's down this year, which is a great time to get in. So if it's down, that means you get a zero. Nothing affects your principal. But I like these annual returns. If you haven't received these annual returns, or you would like to get these annual returns working for you, again, past performance is not indicative of future results, then give us a call. We can get this account with no fees. You get 100% participation rate on this. You're backed by an A-rated carrier that did not face mask their employees, that didn't force the vaccine on their employees, that is Americanly born, that is headquartered here in America, that stands by this podcast, that actually works with us and our patriotic clients, that is employee owned. They're not selling out to China. They're not outsourcing to India. I can't stand when these companies do that. They actually give a darn about your money because they own a piece of the company. When you have an employee-owned company, you have happy people working to make sure that you are satisfied. I mean, A-rated carrier, they're going to guarantee your principal to never ever never ever lose contractually. And they've been around for over 100 years. And they've been around before the Great Depression. This is where I have my money at. Again, I can't advertise certain companies, but this is a green money option that many Americans don't even know about. It is mind-boggling that your current advisor literally tells you that you need to invest in a stock market to get you the returns. That's no longer true, guys. It hasn't been for over 20 years. And so as a former stockbroker, I know plenty of ways to make money in the markets, but I want to leave you guys with this. There's solutions out there. All you got to do is give us a call. Let's have a 15-minute conversation. And I really enjoy just speaking with many of you guys. You guys call and say, man, I've known you for like 3 or 4 years or 2 years. And it really warms my heart because there's many days I don't want a podcast, guys. There's many days I don't want to talk. And honestly, everything's just spirit led. You guys give me the source. You guys give me everything to talk about. So I just want to say thank you to all the listeners. There's going to be some cool things I'm working on in the Circle group. There's also a trading academy that I'm going to be promoting that I'm personally in, that I've been doing well in. I'm going to bring Joe on board. He's the one that helps me with charts. He's my mentor. I'm going to be bringing him on a podcast. I'm also going to be talking about some ways that you could make money passively. And it's not what you think. It's not in the stock market. I like offline things. So stay tuned to that. I'm actually in the process of doing my due diligence because I will never bring anything that I haven't personally tried. I've tried all the products that I've been promoting. I've been a huge benefactor of it. So go to getmeleanusa.com if you want to lose weight, if you want to focus more, if you want to sleep better, if you want to restore your body. Go to getmeleanusa.com, get you some animal-based and plant-based peptides that do not destroy you. Everybody's on Ozempic and all this nasty GLP-1s. You can go on GLP-1s and still take this, and you would not lose muscle. So the Get Me Lean USA products do not eat your muscle. And we have a lot of listeners that just take it, and they still take their Ozempic or the Mounjaro or whatever they're on, their GLP-1, their semaglutide, and not lose muscle, and they look great and they're feeling great. So go to Get Me Lean USA, get you a monthly pack, performance pack. You can cancel anytime. So those products are great. You can see a picture of me, how I used to look, and now obviously I'm still a work in progress, but I've lost 70 pounds just by walking every day, eating protein, and taking great peptides. It's not a secret. Recently, I got COVID, and it was like laughable. I just was really tired. I was really, really tired. That's all it was. But here we are. We're staying strong. We're staying fit. We're staying fit financially. We're staying fit physically. We're staying fit spiritually. I'll see you guys this weekend. I'm going to talk about more in depth about some charts, and I want to talk about, I want to talk about some of the current events right now, like how deep we need to start using green money solutions, how powerful that is with this whole ERISA thing and Trump. And I'm not bashing Trump. I'm not hating on anybody. I'm not pointing the finger, because you're responsible for your own well-being. And so I can only talk about your current state, our current state, what we can do. We can't control what the president does or other countries can do, but we can control what we have. The little that we have, you're responsible for. So let's be stewards. Let's not blame others. Let's take responsibility. Now's the time to do it. Interest rates are coming down. The markets are being volatile. You probably haven't had this conversation with your current advisor, and that's okay. But if you're lost and confused, or you have any type of self-doubt, give us a call, 813-448-3446. We're not desperate for business, obviously. We just give so much passion to our clients. We're very passionate about helping and teaching you a new philosophy that has saved hundreds, if not thousands, of clients from the debacle of Wall Street. Don't get suckered into this casino. Don't get suckered into red money. You don't have to live that lifestyle, guys, where your whole life depends on what the stock market does. That is a disgusting and emotional roller coaster that you do not deserve. 2 Timothy 1:7 says, "For I have not given you the spirit of fear, but of love, power, and sound mind." So I really, really pray. I really pray, guys, that you have it in your hearts to really, really just ask Jesus in your life. Ask him, do I have my name in the book of life? If not, if you're not sure, then always just ask him, God, I want to be in the book of life. Will you be my savior? Because I need you. I am a sinner and I can't live without you. And we don't need to be chasing cars, chasing women, chasing money, chasing validation from our neighbors, from people, when God has already validated you and he died on the cross. And sometimes I just got to remember that simple message to keep me grounded. Guys, there's going to be a lot of problems in the markets, man. But my aim will always be my aim. My aim is to talk about money. Because if I can talk about money, just like food, everybody likes food, everybody likes money. I'm simply using that to say Jesus' name. Do you know Jesus? Because at the end of the day, I could grow your wealth. I can manage it. I can give great advice. Doesn't mean jack shizzle if you don't have a relationship to the one that matters. Because every knee will bow, every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. And I could care less. I'm unapologetic about all the haters, all the liberals that say, oh man, he's a Bible thumping spick, blah, 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 calls me all these curse names. And, I don't hate anybody. I really don't. And I know this is a huge campaign about the Jews and, the elites or whatever. That's not me, man. Like, I don't hate anybody. And we can't cannot inherit the kingdom of God if we have hate in our hearts. So it's not even my fabric, dude. Anyways, I love you guys. Don't forget to visit us, CortezW1.com. Let us give you some advice, a second opinion, and there's so much we can offer. So just go to CortezW1.com. If you want to download a free guide, you can go to AmericaFirstRetirementPlan.com. And I love y'all. God bless. And we will be talking soon.
I'm still alive. God get me breathing. Now I testify. They tried to fool my hustle, tried to kill my dream. But the cross is my weapon and the truth is my team. Unapologetic.